thought what I'd do is I'd show you some of the photographs that I've kept over the years that I've taken inside some of the go-go bars where I've worked. Now, interestingly, now everybody wants photos of the girls, everybody wants to try and make videos to promote their businesses, but many years ago, over decades and decades, if you even got a camera out in a bar, you would be pounced on. It was very much frowned upon to take photographs inside bars. So a lot of these photographs are before we open, during staff meetings, in the staff changing rooms, etc. On them you'll see maybe a few photographs of the Mamasan in the bar, and there's sometimes more than one. A Mamasan, it is got a G on the end of it. A Mamasan, I think it's a Malaysian term, is a lady that will basically look after the girls, hopefully recruit girls. She'll also take care of them when they come into work, get them their uniforms, put them on stage, get the rotas together and organise bar finds and other things as well. She is basically the bridge between the manager and the girls. If I had something negative to say to a girl, I would very rarely say it to her directly. I would say it through a Mamasan. And I've also, by the way, known a Papasan, a man who worked as a Mamasan, who was a very nice man. And most of the ladies are really nice ladies, but generally I think it's fair to say that they're really in it for themselves. Some of the fiddles going on with the Mamasans was unbelievable. One of them used to bring in her own food to sell to the girls. If the girls didn't buy the food that the Mamasan was selling, then basically she wouldn't send customers over, she wouldn't help them out at all. They would be a bit of an outcast. So she had her own little clique in the bar, if you like, and it was just those girls that she sold food to. If you go outside on Walking Street or on all the soys off Walking Street, you'll see food carts everywhere. So that I said, look, the girls can go and just buy food wherever they want, please can you not bring food in to sell to the girls. That Mamasan lost face. She later, very soon afterwards, actually left that bar, and she didn't take any staff with her, so she clearly wasn't very popular, and the food wasn't that nice anyway. I have got a confession to make, and I was actually punched in a bar once, and what was happening was, one of the Mamasans I was working with was quite young, little thing, quite attractive as well, and she was quite playful with customers, playful with the girls, even playful with me. A little bit hands-on, but there was a line to draw. Now, I'd seen an episode of Friends many years earlier, and one of the characters in Friends used to go around and he used to have this sort of action where he used to flick his fingers on a girl's bra strap and it used to undo it. Well, I did this once with this Mamasan as a joke, but to be fair, I now realise, hands up, it was my fault. I'd crossed the line because I'd flicked her bra open. Little did I know that her boyfriend found out about this, and then one day I was there in the bar just looking at the clock cards, and I seriously didn't even know where this came from. This guy just came into the bar, punched me, and then ran out again. I've no idea. It's the only time it's ever happened. To be fair, a lesson learned. I deserved it. I crossed the line and I shouldn't have done. Some other people that you'll see in the bar are the service girls or waitresses. These are the girls that take your drink orders and bring your drinks to the... And they're on a fixed salary, and they also get tips from customers, and they also get the big tip box at the end of the evening as well. When you leave a tip, the service girls will divide that up. And some guys like to go in the bars just to see the service girls, really, because they're not dancers, and so they're a little bit different to the other staff in the bar. And I have to say, there was a story once where a particular service girl took a bit of a shine to me in this bar where I was working, and we kind of played around and made the odd joke and all that. And then one day she turned around to me and said, "Kun Phil, I'm at the end of the month when I get my salary, I'm going to be leaving the bar because I'm going back to my student studies. So I'll be leaving, and I'll be having a bit of a party at the end of the night, and a few of us are going to a Thai barbecue, and I'd like you to come." So I went, yeah, okay then. So fine. She did her last day, gave her a salary, and then we all went to this Mugatat, the Thai barbecue, and she came and sat next to me, and she was kind of playing with me, and she was feeling my leg and smiling at me, and maybe she'd have had a couple of drinks, and then sort of it was quite obvious that she was quite attached to me. Now there is a golden rule, of course, and the golden rule for many bar owners that tell their managers you're not allowed to sleep with any of the staff. And okay, I understood that, the golden rule, but actually technically this girl wasn't working there anymore, so that was fine. So in the end of the day, don't want to go into the mucky details, but she ended up coming back to my condo, and we had a night of passionate lovemaking. What a lucky girl. So that was that. Left in the morning and then went to work the next day. It was the first day of the month, so I had lots and lots of things to do. Walked through the door and there she was in her uniform, and I says, hold on a minute, you left, you told me you left. She goes, oh no, I've changed my mind after last night. I think I'm going to stay now. Service girls can get a bit lazy as well. I remember in a certain go-go where I worked, they didn't have an in-house cleaner. The service girls used to clean the bar before they started work, and they did quite a good job. But one of the tasks they had to do every night before we started work was they had to pull the sofas away from the walls so they could clean behind the sofas any dust or anything that was there, and just maintain good hygiene and cleanliness. But I've noticed that the girls were getting a bit lazy and they weren't doing it. And so sometimes I'm not very good at delegation, and I thought I'm going to make a point here and I'm going to go in and pull the sofas away from the walls and start cleaning it myself. So I got dustpan and brush, and the girls were there eating food. They thought they were finished for the night, and I started pulling sofas away, and they were all looking at me going, what's Egg doing now? He's nuts. And I got a dustpan and brush, and they were all looking at me. Pulled this sofa away, and I saw on the ground some paper, and I went down and I picked it up, and I could see it was 1,000 baht note. Now 1,000 baht is about $30 or £20. That's a lot of money in Thailand. I opened it up, and it wasn't just 1,000 baht. It was 4,000 bahts. Somebody had obviously put that in their pocket. A customer sat at this particular sofa. Things might have got a little amorous between him and a bar girl or whatever, and this money had fallen behind the sofa. So I picked it up, and there it was, 4,000 baht, and I held it high in my hand, and I says, look, and there was it was like silence in the bar. All the staff were looking at me. Now, I get paid considerably more than the service staff, and so they were all going in their minds, they were thinking, what's he going to do with that? Is he going to keep it? Is he going to keep it? But no, I took the money and I put it in the staff tip box, and I says, there you are, girls. Now you can see, if you clean behind the sofas, you're going to every now and then find some money. Well, I have to say, I never had a problem with them cleaning behind the sofas again, although I don't think I ever found quite that much money the next time. Some of the pictures that you can see on the screen will be took in the changing room area of the go-go bars that I've worked at, and changing rooms is always an interesting place. Everybody thinks, oh wow, that would be amazing if I could just go for 1 hour into the girls' changing room. But trust me, it is not a glamorous place. First of all, I have to say, I've always seen that as the girls' area, and I go into the changing rooms very, very briefly, and if I ever do go in, it will be very, very quickly. I always knock on the door. Even if the door's open, I always knock on the door to go into the changing room to let the girls know that boss is coming in. There are certain things that the girls can go in there. I want them to relax in the changing rooms a little bit. Maybe they're changing underwear or other things that girls have to change, and I just want them to relax. But one of the last things you have to do in the end of the evening before you lock up the go-go bar as a manager is check the changing rooms. You're looking for things like food that's left out, because you might get rodents or problems with insects and things like that, so you need to make sure food is all put in bins or covered up. But you'd be amazed what you find in the changing rooms. I mean, first of all, girls seem to have a thing about shoes. They'll buy a pair of shoes, wear them 3 times, and then just leave them in the changing room. And literally, you get dustbin bags, bin bags full of girls' shoes. And I'll collect them all up every 2 or 3 months, and I'll say, right, girls, I've put your shoes in a bag. Can you please go through the shoes and pull out any that are yours? And if not, I'll be throwing these shoes away in a week's time. And most of the time, the shoes were there from girls that had already left. And we were throwing away literally bin bags full of shoes, which are not cheap by any means. And another thing you always find in the changing rooms at the end of the day, empty alcohol bottles, Sang-som, cheap vodka bottles everywhere. And you might think, well, you know, why are the girls not cleaning up after themselves? Or why is that? Well, you think it's an easy job being a go-go girl, just going up there on the stage and doing the Isan shuffle. But let's think of it like this. Bars open at 8 o'clock. Bars close at 3 o'clock. They're dancing 20 minutes or 30 minutes every hour. You think about it. You do it for one night, and in those high heels as well. It must be absolutely shattering. The 2 biggest reasons that girls leave a go-go bar. Number 1 reason they leave a bar is aircon. They don't like being in aircon, and they get a cold or a chill because they're used to working maybe in a farm or out in the warm, and they go in a bar and the aircon gets to them. The number 2 reason is shoes. They're not used to wearing high-heeled shoes. They're farmers. They're most of them, and they're just not used to wearing a glamorous shoe, and it's too much pain on their ankles and their calves, and they just leave. So it's a difficult job. Have a little bit of respect and spend a little bit of time thinking about what these poor little precious girls have to go through every day. Seriously, it's not easy for the girls, and I always remembered that. And when I was walking around the changing rooms at the end of the night, I've always thought, yeah, oh, never mind, don't get angry about it. They've had a hard day at work. There's another video coming up right after this, so stay tuned. But for me, Mr. Egg, otherwise known as Phil, we'll see you next week for another video. Bye!